Ah, that is the extent of my German, even though every time I say it, everybody talks to me in German. I guess I look it, but that is the extent. I'm learning, so if you want to help me, more than happy. I am Sophy Cesar. I am the CEO of Upside Gold Corp. Upside is a newly listed company, but not a new resource, which is important for you to remember as we talk about the project. We are located in southern British Columbia, and we are listed on the CSE under the ticker UG. We're also listed on the Frankfurt Exchange. Okay. Oh, is it too close? I'm yelling at everybody?
From in front.
Ah, excellent. And we're also listed on the Frankfurt under 47I. So I may be making some forward-looking statements. So important things to remember when we talk about Upside Gold. What makes our project different is we actually have a historical resource from 2021 of 3.31 million ounces of gold. So for a small company like ours that has listed in January of 2026, that is a really good starting point for us coming into the market. As I mentioned, located in southern British Columbia with excellent infrastructure, which we'll get into in a little bit. There are multiple targets for us to grow this project, not only the resource, and something very important to us. We're a very tight, small team. We want to be disciplined in our approach, both in our exploration, but also in how we allocate capital. I can attest that I took the bus here, got a little bit lost this morning, but we really do watch where we spend every penny. So where are we located? We're located in this excellent infrastructured historical mining area. So it's a large project, over 10,000 hectares. We are located, that is what you see, that there is our project. There is a highway, Highway 6, that runs right through the middle of it. We sit between Salmo, BC, and Nelson, BC. The highway runs right through our project. What you're seeing there is our core shack, which sits in the backyard of our driller. There's been over 39,000 meters drilled. Out of that, we have access to about 90% of that we're able to resample and draw from. This area has multi-generational mining families. So our field geologist, her grandfather staked property in the area. Her father and brother work at Teck's smelter as mining engineers, which is about 65 kilometers away, and she's been working on our project for 20 years. Everyone that works on our project can get into their car or truck in that area and drive right up to the site within an hour. So it allows me to not have to worry about costs in terms of having a camp. My all-in drill costs are about $250 a meter. Again, being able to really be conscious of where we're spending our dollar. So it's a little known fact, but outside of the Golden Triangle, this area that we're in, the Kootenay Golden Volcanic Arc, has the highest amount of past producers. It has the highest amount of prospectors and of mineralized occurrences. All of those those yellow triangles you see, those are historical mines that produced in the area. There's been over 4 million ounces produced. What really drew me to this project, so our project is outlined in black right there. That is the size of our footprint. I worked on the Kenville Gold Mine. It's a project that runs right up along our property line. When I was working with them, New Gold, which is now Coeur Mining, took a 9.9% strategic partnership investment in the project because they were looking for feed for their new Afton mine. So it gives you an idea that there is the potential in this area. Kenville received its bulk mining permit, and just recently they received an environmental permit as well to allow them to proceed with their underground bulk mine. I should be clear, we're looking at a open pit lower grade mine than theirs. Ours is very similar to Centerra, which we see right there. So we have 200 million tons of reserves. They have 250. Their gold is 0.35. Ours is about 0.5, and their copper is on par with ours. And this is the historical resource from 2021. We are optioning the project from West Mining. West Mining are the ones who did this in 2021. They came up with 331 million ounces of gold. Out of that, almost 562 in the indicated category, and then 2.77 million ounces in the inferred category. So even if you do this it was done at a cutoff of 0.25, even if you wanted to bring it to 0.5, we still have 1.7 million ounces of gold. But we think we can do better, and that is our goal. Our goal is to work on this foundation that's been built, do our own drilling, which I'll get into, and increase that resource by about 40%. So this is the whole size of our project. The outlined area in black is 4 kilometers long. That's where the resource was done. But as you can see, and I'm going to go over here for a second, it extends. We thought 7 kilometers. We've discovered about 11 kilometers long. And it goes from the Euphrates, which was a past-producing mine. Interesting story. You can go along the highway, which is in a valley, and look over, and you can see the mine shafts that go into the side of the mountain. And then it comes and folds onto our property where there's the Starlight and Great Western. So these were all small, bulk sample, high-grade mines. But you can see great grams per ton, and also silver, which is important, and I'm going to explain to you why. So, not a new project. Around since the 1970s, it was staked by a gentleman called Otto Janu. Funny story, Otto is actually a shareholder. He came in on the go public round and still involved in the project. So there was all this historical drilling done, and the original geologist, Linda Dandy, who's a consultant for our company, believed that, yes, there's these high-grade shoots, but in between that, there's this fine, what we call snowflake gold, that's lower in grade, but she believed that there could be a bulk tonnage here. So she went ahead and did a field program, and she found that everything was near or at surface, and they were hitting, and it's across laterally and along strike, 1.43 grams per ton gold. So this led for them to do a large drilling campaign, and that they did. So they drilled extensively in Gold Mountain, which is part of the area where there is the resource, and they found holes returning broad intervals of between 50 to 100 meters of 1 gram per ton average, which you can see on the side there. These are actually pictures of our project. These are the roads that we look at when we have access to drilling. This is one of my favorite slides because it shows you the outline of where the resource is, but it shows you on the right, there's the gold in pink. So right outside of our resource, there is the potential to expand right up along and grow it through Great Western and the Starlight. And then there is the underdiscovered copper. And the copper values and the silver values have never been taken into consideration in the mineral resource. So this is where it gets exciting for us. Then in 2021 and 2022, there were drill campaigns that were done following the recommendations of the mineral resource. I invite you to go on our website. I'm not going to bore you with the numbers here, but nonetheless, interesting enough to warrant further exploration. Here's a cross-section of the Gold Mountain where you can see that it's coming right up to surface. Where you see the red, that is 0.5 cutoff. So it's a nice, consistent body. And then you can see on the top there, between the Gold Mountain and the Keynote, we're probably looking at 2 nice, consistent bodies that will be mineable. There has been metallurgy done on the project traditional metallurgy. It was not done by us, but still great recoveries, 95.6% at Gold Mountain. This is something that as we move forward, we're going to be further investing in. So, what have we done? We acquired this, we started negotiating this project in 2024. We signed an option agreement in 2025, January of 2025, to have 100% of this project with no NSRs. But at the same time, as we were going ahead with our listing and raising money, we did do a surface sampling program last July. So great results, 26.1 grams, some good copper. This let us identify 28 high priority drill targets for this year. We have a permit in place, so that we got with the project, and that's what we're preparing for. We did 1,000 meters last fall. Now we're getting ready for 4,000 meters this fall. And it's really focused on expansion, long strike, down dip, and in new target zones, like I mentioned. We've also started the permitting process, moving the project forward into, once we're done these 4,000 meters, then we're going to look at drilling past that. And we just recently announced this week data compilation, and what that showed us is that 7 kilometers remains open in all directions, and it supports our initial hypothesis that there is significant room for expansion. So the goal is we are going to drill this year, and then we are going to update the resource. And how are we going to do that? We're going to do it in a 3-pronged approach, I like to say. We're going to include the 5,000 meters of drilling that was done in 2021 and 2022. We're going to include our 5,000 meters of drilling, so in total, 10,000 meters. And then we're going to bring in that copper and silver values that were never included to help make it more robust. Again, targeting internally 40% increase, somewhere around 4 million ounces, and bringing a lot of inferred into indicated. So to date, we've raised $3 million. The last round was done in January, end of January at 40 cents. We're currently trading at $1.30 Canadian. That puts our market cap at over 71 million. Very, very tightly held. All close family, friends, some strategic and founders. So that allows us, really to be able to manage the stock, and we've been able to weather the ups and downs that we've seen recently. So use of proceeds, as I mentioned, we are optioning the project. We've paid $500,000 to them. I've negotiated to put any payments off until January of 2027, allowing us a little bit more free cash flow, and we have enough to get started on that drilling campaign and move forward. The team, so myself. I've been working in mining for over 15 years now. As I mentioned, I worked with a project that ran right along this, the Kena project. I've also worked for Aya Gold and Silver in corporate development. And then most recently, I was at Canadian North Resources with Dr. Trevor Boyd. He was my VP Exploration there as well. He and I we were the ones who would hit the road doing shows like this. He and I raised $48 million for the company. When this came across my desk, I asked him to take a look at it and to see if there was any merit. He tried repeatedly to find reasons to why it would not be a great project, but couldn't put it down. And I said to him, if I take this on, will you come and join me? And I've been lucky enough to have him on board. So he has over 30 years experience working in mining, worked with Noranda, Falcon Bridge, just to name a few. Roger Jewett he's our CFO, part-time, but he'll tell you I work him full-time with as much as I bother him. So I think it's important to mention, I talk about being very fiscally responsible. I'm probably the only person who works on this project full-time. I am the only person who works on this project full-time. Trevor, I brought him out of retirement. He works on just on this project, but not full-time. And our field team, we're lucky enough that there is enough work in that area that they can go from project to project, so we only use them when we are drilling. So very, very lean, very small team that building on a foundation that allows us to use all of the past results that we've had to grow that resource, and we're hoping to have that completed by Q1 of 2027. So that is Upside Gold. Thank you. Go ahead. So we're not going to look at exploiting the silver. What we're doing is going to bring it in as equivalents for the resource at the moment, unless we discover something different. Yes, so that's not something, so we haven't done an economic study yet. That's something that after we do the 43-101, we'll probably look at moving towards a pre-feasibility, pre-economic assessment. So I don't have those numbers. I'd be amiss ballparking that. Yes.
And I want to know if there's some chance that you get some dividends back or even my money back
Well, what I can say is that our shareholders that came in since we've listed, the ones who came in initially at our go public round was 20 cents. Then the ones that came in January, what is that, 40 cents, and we're trading at $1.30. So they've, they saw their return, and this is based on, preliminary work that we're doing now. For an investor, I would say it's really going to be about, the catalysts are going to be the drill results that we're going to have out this year, in the end of summer, and then the upgraded resource of 4+ million ounces of gold, because we are a gold project. Yeah. So thank you very much.